Okie doke. So, yeah, primarily this is about finishing up this move up here in the Prego Riverfront. And yeah, the majority is for sure is going to be Special Corps 1 because I've basically done all of First Army. I did check the numbers and I was two numbers, I think I gave two strength points too much over here. But inadvertently it worked out kind of okay in that I was able to still keep the trench work here with one strength point. The reason why I have two strength points over here is just due to the fact that the way the strength points are spread out amongst the units here, well, up here. By popping somebody over here, and if they did get attacked, I only basically had like a bunch of one strength point units left. So anyways, I didn't want to get, I guess I'm kind of hedging my bets in the sense that now that I realize the trench is going to cause two movement points extra here, it's going to cause them a supply constraint. They're not going to be able to optimally supply an attack all the way up to here, is what I'm trying to do. So I don't know, we'll see if that works. What else? Oh yeah, maybe one other thing from the previous post, maybe, I don't know if paying attention, at least I was, why wouldn't I use this one strength point to kind of like pop everything over? Because I could have theoretically made this into a 7 by taking like 1 point from here, like I just said, but I could have risked it. So that would have been up to a 5, take that 1 point up to a 6, and stripped a point from here from divisional breakdown. It's just doing that little jumble. I mean, obviously you can't take this strength point exactly and move it over here, but it would have been like, I just would have had to move more than what I did. Anyways, the reason why I didn't is this is a severely reduced unit. What number is he? The 30th. Oh, that's kind of appropriate. Battle Group 30 for the 30th. Anyways, there's a 3 strength point replacement division sitting there, so I don't want to move them because that's like, you know, 1 is going to magically turn into 4 for next turn. So I'm just not going to do it. Also, I realized when I was looking here, based on the zones of control and the woods and the river and all that crazy nonsense, and the trench, because there's an actual trench here, no one can get in, but somebody can get out right now. It's just, unless you're cavalry, there's just not enough movement points. Or if, you know, I was Germans with those 5 movement points, but not going to happen. So I had to remind myself, ooh, you better be careful there. A couple of other things I want to chit-chat about first, before actually going to the move. It was weird when I started getting back to this. I guess I've been spending so much time focused in Galicia and Silesia. I felt guilty when I got back here. I was like, God, I'm barely spending any mental energy or whatever. But I was like, wait a minute, you did. I mean, how the heck did you get the Special Corps 1 sitting up here? And then there was all this other narrative of when the Cossack cavalry were supposed to come up here that would have taken better, almost a month to get up here. But then Ivanov, I think, is the big head honcho for the Southwest Front. He decided against Zelensky's idea to bring them up, which AKA wasn't true. It was just me forgetting they were supposed to go up, and I altered them to go and help the Third Army. And afterwards it's like, oh shoot, how do I weave this into kind of making sense? And then what ended up happening is now there's like this ongoing feud between Zelensky and Ivanov, in that they're kind of like just going screw you to each other kind of thing or whatever, which I think also happened in real life, so that's good. So yeah, I have to worry about that. What else did I want to talk about? So I don't feel so guilty, but I was for a while though. And you know, but I mean, I got to admit there are some favorites I have, and it's just the way it's happened. I mean, I don't know. There's just not. Maybe there's not enough towns around here for me to get some kind of a connection the way there is down in Galicia when I saw, Cernowitz fall and then Stanislaw. And I was like, holy F. Like, anyways, I just want to make sure I do check. Oh, yeah. And one thing I'm going to certainly be doing now, it's kind of weird in an odd way. I feel like. In a very obviously little dinky way, but I'm learning kind of like the historical commanders as we've gotten into, but I mean, it's a bit late now for the game in the sense that now I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to really spread my lines out and connect the armies up and not have these big, huge gaping holes and so on and so forth. And on the, in their universe, or well, in the real world, they had to like deal with the changing military technology and so on and so forth, and yeah, it's just incredible that they deal with that. And I also like this little connection, like I said. Anyways, what else? Well, my mind's also wandering as well. Hold on here. What else do I have? Okay, I did that. Oh yeah, I do want to talk about reinforcements, and it seems a bit weird. Another thing you're going to notice is I'm going to have definitions. I'm going to read out some definitions, and the reason being is lots of times I believe I make assumptions about words, or I should say I assume that I think I know the proper meaning of words, and I don't think I do often. I really like dictionaries. I think they really help me. Because I think I've said it before, I'm not really, things don't click, sometimes it takes like multiple times, so yeah, it's just the way it goes. Hold on, I'm just going to have a sip of coffee. Okay, so yeah, this is in regards, like I said, to reinforcements, also rail movement, column movement, and when reinforcements occur in the turn sequence. Okay, so he uses two words, or there's two words in the game that I keep seeing about reinforcements. One is arrival, and the other word is hold on here, appear, which are two different. They have two different meanings. And obviously, as you can see what I mean, the connotation of arrival means you showed up somehow. You got to your destination, right? And appear is like poof. So where you mustered up in that location, and so on and so forth. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is, well, here, I'll just read it out and we'll go from there. And how I'm going to do it. Yeah, exactly. And it's not a house rule. It's one of those times, I don't know if other people have it. If I was playing a game, let's say basically the only person I play with right now is Rob. So I would call it talking it out with Rob moment. You get to that point in a game where it's like, how do we want to interpret this rule? It's not a deal breaker or whatever, but it just will make things move more smoothly or whatever is what I'm trying to say. All right. So in section 7 in rail movement, which is going to be pretty darn important, I think, in section 7.10, it says units may not use a combination of rail and column movement. Units may do one or the other during a turn, but not both. Okay? And then now we're going to pop in my little definitions from my grandfather's dictionary upstairs. Appear, become or be visible, present oneself formally or publicly. And then arrival is act of arriving, appearance upon the person or thing that has arrived. And then arrive is come to destination or end of journey or specified point on a journey, be brought. All right? Then we go into the turn sequence, and when you look in the book and on on the maps and whatnot, it has in the book, in the rule book, number 5, sequence of play, it has turn sequence, and it has written down reinforcement arrival phase. The phasing player places reinforcements scheduled for the current turn onto their placement hexes on the map. Okay? And then 25, reinforcements. Section 25.1. Players receive reinforcements during a scenario according to the scenario's reinforcement schedule. All right? Then we go to 25.2. Reinforcements appear in the hex stated in the scenario reinforcement schedule during the friendly reinforcement arrival phase of the stated turn. If no hex is listed, I like this one. Too bad it's not anywhere you want, but I understand. If no hex is listed, refer to this, oh, not this bit, the next one in a bit. If no hex is listed, refer to the scenario rules for the arrival location. Okay, no problem. Sorry, it's going to be a lot of reading, man, but I just need to get, this kind of stuff hammered into my head, and also why I'm going to clarify how I'm doing things, which I like, because it actually causes, excuse me, it actually causes another decision headache, which is wonderful. All right, 25.3. Reinforcements may not arrive at, oh, this is the one I like, may not arrive in a hex that is occupied by enemy units, is enemy controlled, or is no longer an operative rail hex belonging to a friendly rail network. If the reinforcements can only arrive in a hex with one of the above conditions, they may be placed in the nearest friendly operative rail hex that is not in an enemy zone of control. Boy, oh boy, you could get into some pretty interesting situations with that, that's for sure. I like it. And it also makes me feel good when I started doing, I didn't do it exactly the way the rule is, but when I started role-playing the fact of like, okay, we can't have reinforcements and replacement units and whatnot show up in Katowice and whatnot if the Russians are there. So that's why I started doing the detours through the Tisa River area, a rail network to get through the Carpathians and then up to Shemish and whatnot. Anyways, so here we go to 25.4. Not this one. Oh, it's 25.5. This is the biggie. But 25.4, I'm still just reading out some stuff. Units that arrive as reinforcements are considered to have completed mobilization. Okay, no problem. 25.5. All reinforcements may use column movement on the turn they are placed on the map. Huh? Say what? 25.7. On certain turns, countries may receive supply points or reinforcements. These supply points can be transferred immediately to single headquarters on an operative rail line, or they may be split among multiple headquarters, each of which must be located on an operative rail line. Supply points may also arrive as a supply point marker in a hex containing an operative rail line on a friendly map edge. So why am I bringing up all this about, the reinforcements, definitions on arrival? It's the reason being is I feel like I'm trying to find out if there's this implication that reinforcements are already entrained when they're placed on the map, and if so, then how does that mesh with the conflict between Rule 710 about you can't use rail movement and column movement in the same turn, like the same unit in the same turn, and Rule 255 saying that all reinforcements can use column movement that turn. So the way I'm resolving the issue is at the beginning of the turn, at the reinforcement arrival phase, the player must declare before placing the each reinforcement on the map whether it arrives entrained or not. I like that, and I think that solves a lot of what's happening here or whatever. The other one, which is I think a lot, this is definitely going to be a house rule. And it is way off. I'm not saying way off, but it's it's certainly not a Weltkrieg rule, but for me it makes a lot of sense, and also administratively or keeping an eye on things. Okay, so it's about cutting rail lines. Also, it for me gives me a bit of a yet again a bit more of a historical truism or whatever. Okay, it's about cutting. It's going to be also about allowing you to cut your own rail lines. And you may think, well, what the hell do you want to do that for? Well, for a lot of reasons. Well, obviously to slow the flipping enemy down, man, when they're coming at me. It happened in real life. I mean, what the heck do you think Belgium did? I was watching an episode, I think it was the first episode of Apocalypse World War One that Ken recommended. Oh my goodness. Did they do a good job? Yeah, I'm just... Anyways, supposedly Belgium, they even ordered their locomotives full steam ahead to ram into each other, to destroy the rail network. I'm like, holy shoot! And you should see the damage, man. That must have been noisy. So, anyways, I would like to be able to do that, and also with that, remember the thing that even though you're not entrained. Having the rail, an operative rail network going across a river does at sometimes give you a, like here, does give you a movement, it's not so severe of a movement penalty. So I want to be able to do those things, as well as I also want to have a better way of doing paperwork or administrative whatevers, because, all right, so here we go. And I like it. I don't think it's a horrible thing to do. So in section 9, in rail line status, 9.3, it says the rail line in a hex becomes inoperative whenever an enemy infantry type division or multiple infantry type brigades enter the hex. And my house rule is going to be the phasing player has the option to render an operative rail line in a hex inoperative if they have an infantry type division or multiple infantry type brigades in either a friendly or enemy operative rail line hex. It costs 1 movement point to make an operative rail line in a hex inoperative, and it cannot be performed with column movement by any unit involved in making the rail line during that turn. Like in that hex inoperative during that turn. That's it. So, and I think it just makes me a lot more of a yet again, decision making. Do I want to give up a movement point? Where am I going to actually specifically cut these rail lines? It makes me feel a bit more like I've wasted 1 out of my 4 days. I know, well, you could say, well, that shouldn't have taken very long if you're just going to ram 2 trains together or whatever. I'm just saying, maybe, doing it all over the place. Maybe it's like, okay, guys, we have to, I don't know how the hell you do it, but like rip up the freaking rail lines here, man. Anyways, I'm just, that's why I'm going with it in my little world. And what else? Should I end it here and then maybe start start the proper moves? I think so, maybe. I don't know how long this one is. And I think sometimes things should be, I guess, somewhat digestible. That's the way to look at it. Where's my flipping bookmark? Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. And then we'll start talking about all the fun stuff with, oh yeah, these guys, I'm hoping. I have to read up again about surrounding units and so on and so forth, but I'm really trying to move a lot of, I think, yeah, we can see everybody. Let's see here. Well, the main thing is Grodno here. And yeah, okay, we're going to be good. I think so. All right, let's see if I can post this up.